All right. Let's check out Monday's iFVG. All right. I know that like some days this week aren't gonna have great setups, so we will monitor, maybe go back and take a look at pre-market setups or PM setups, then kind of go from there. On Monday, I think the setup of the day for Monday was probably this 30-second long here, or maybe if there's like a good short here, but I don't think there is. Take that low so it's a break even. Yeah, I think it's going to be the 30-second long. Rixo, it's worse than that, man. I take 15-second plays, so I trust the 30-second more than actually probably you would think. So yeah, I'm gonna mark this out and we'll just say this. So this to me is an A setup. And the reasoning is because of the draw and liquidity here. Okay. So this will be the idea. So we have an A setup long. Maybe it's A plus actually, but I'll just say it's A. Yeah, because it's not exactly the model and the draw and liquidity. So we have turtle soup reaction to taking AM low. We have very strong momentum candle inside macro. CISD on close of inverse. Good break even target. And then what do we see in the draws here? Unfilled 15-minute. What else? I think that's it. Um, yeah, I like this trade. So we'll say this is Monday. Two-minute. Let me see. The 2-minute short here isn't bad, actually. That's fair. I'm still going to say the long, though, just because I've already marked it all out. Because we hadn't inverse this 1 minute. And I think that's significant. Let's go to Tuesday. So Tuesday, I think, is going to be our day where there's just no trade here. Maybe this short. Go break even at the low here. We have good delivery. No, because... Oh, wait, we didn't close above the 15. That's right. That's right. Okay. So, yeah, we'll say this 1 minute short is our trade, right? And it's, once again, like an A minus setup or something. So we'll combine these two gaps, right? Maybe A. Draw on liquidity here is the 930 wick. That's it. Yeah, that's actually good. Oh, maybe macro. Yeah, and macro. All right. Wednesday. All right, let's just go down the time frames here. I mean, this is all pre-FOMC. Maybe there's something that stands out. I think it's pretty obvious to be bearish on this day, right? So I think the iFVG here that is actually the best is the 1 minute short. Yeah, this is all a mess. I would never take this. Looks like we left equal lows there. We don't end up retaking those until here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the 1 minute here for the break even, and that's it, because I don't think there's any really good setup here. Yeah, so this is, by the way, guys, obviously I know that this trade didn't win, but there's not really a good trade here that wins, so I'm gonna go with this break even trade. Uh, what else? Okay, so this would be like a C setup draw, right? Why was Wednesday bearish, right? I think we came into Wednesday bearish because we had this reaction to like a 1 hour gap or something. Yeah, so we hadn't closed to this 1 hour yet, but we like broke structure here at 8 o'clock, right? We get this market structure shift. We have a bearish reaction to, I don't know if it was liquidity being swept or, yeah, us respecting the daily gap after filling the VI or whatever it was. So we had delivery from the daily there. And overall, it just looked like market maker sell model, right? So that's why I think I was bearish on that day. But maybe Dodgy was bullish on this day. I don't remember. I just know I was bearish. So yeah, that's the trade idea, I guess. All right. Wednesday now. Or Thursday, actually. Thursday. Thursday, if I remember, was really choppy. But we had like this nice long. And like the 1 minute, I think it was like pre-market long. Yeah, this one here at 9:16. So we had 9:49 on the 15 second. We had that. What else do we have? Didn't we get like a short? I feel like there was a short during lunch or something that was pretty good. Yeah, I thought Thursday was good. On the lower time frame, higher time frame, obviously it was really choppy. It was that, right? That 1 minute short to the relative equal lows there. This was good. I mean, we made equal highs, but maybe there's a short there on the 2 minute, 3 minute or something. No, I don't know. What do we think? I think this long's invalid, and I don't want to have to put up a 15-second trade for this long here. Am I missing something? 1019? No, I don't think so. 845 short? Yeah, I don't think I'd be taking that. I guess 1 minute death candle short here. Did we get like delivery? Yeah, we have delivery. Does this make sense to be short bias? Probably not till we inverse the 1 hour here on the left, but I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to go with like this long here. Maybe there's like a 4 minute. Yeah, we'll just say 4 minute long. That's fine. What else? What's the draw on liquidity here? Is there really a good draw? Not really. You'd have to say like draw on liquidity is like Asia high. Okay, that's fine. Discount, obviously. Okay. And then Friday. Friday we had the short off open, and I think that's the best trade of the day. Other than the longs at like 350 that somehow worked. I think delivery was like 50% or something, right, of this 1 hour. Oh no, we already went past it. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll just say like delivery 1 hour. that's it. All right, that's iFVGs of the week then. Very cool. So let's talk. Who's got questions? Why would I take it just before open? Because the goal of open is simply to inject volatility, volume into the market at open that will usually accelerate price towards its intended target regardless. It's not like a news event where like we don't necessarily know where price will go. If we get a setup that's good before market open and it aligns with liquidity, 930 will typically just accelerate us towards the target. If it spikes both ways, that usually means there's a conflicting draw. In this case, there wasn't really a bullish draw. What about this short? I don't like it. It's just okay. How did I do this week? I did good. I was able to secure my payout and take that. And I didn't take any trades on Monday or Tuesday, but I traded Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I caught some moves during PM that were nice. I caught the news move on Thursday, and yeah, I thought it was a decent week. Wouldn't 930 manipulate? Yeah, typically you would expect a 930 Judas swing to run one side of liquidity and then target the other, but when there's only one side of liquidity intact, usually we'll just see 930, the Judas swing, run that side of liquidity and then chop. There's a 10 a.m. reversal, short entry, but equal highs. Would I take the trade? No. I would not take the trade. I'd wait for the equal highs to be ran because technically the reversal time can happen anytime between 9:50 and 10:10. So that still gives us 10 minutes to reverse. Do I prefer Lucid or Apex? I think Lucid is way better if you're a beginner. They have friendlier payout rules. And I like Apex for scaling once you've gotten payouts with Lucid. 50k flex, Chris, but it's up to you. Dodgy says the opposite. That he would take the short? No, that's not true. He wouldn't take the short. I don't know where you heard that, but he wouldn't. If we have equal highs above, and they're at swing points and they're getting equal highs, he'll wait for the equal highs before shorting. Liquidity is more important. Liquidity is the most important. Time is not the most important. And I mean, I don't know. In all my years knowing Dodgy, I doubt he would say that. But sometimes I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Just me personally, I would never. Do you think it's necessary to keep a job or to keep a journal? It seems pointless to me once you know where to go and where not to. I think it's important to collect data in your trading, and that's what a journal does. If you have a different data collection system, that's fine. But I still collect data to this day. Um, on like the trades that like I'd like to go back and study because I feel like I made a mistake, so that I can improve upon those mistakes and prevent them in the future. And then I obviously collect my journal through my trade recaps that I do and the videos that I make and that kind of thing. So I'm still collecting data even to this day, even if it's not in like a traditional journal sense, right? And especially when you're starting out, right? Data is the most important thing that you have starting out as a trader. It's the only thing that truly matters. Do I take 15 seconds if it's my dream scenario? I take 15 seconds at the external of the range if there's no 30-second or 1 minute that I can also take. And that's it. I don't take 15 seconds inside the range. Can I have your journal or is it private? My journal, like the one that I have from like a year ago or whatever it is, like that stuff's private. But all of my trade recaps and things that I've done, trades I've taken in PM and stuff, all that's public, so if you'd like to take a look at that, you can check out the PM Trade Recaps channel. But if you want like the real way that I journal, what you want to do is there's basically 5 characteristics that make a profitable trader. Okay. And these are the data points that you're going to want to collect. Okay. Your analysis before the entry. Okay. So write down everything about the trade regarding your analysis before the entry. You know, how you got your bias for the day. Why you took the entry that you know, we're looking at here, the confluences, the draw on liquidity, etc., right? Then here you're going to mark out the actual entry. So enter all the data regarding the entry. Then you're going to mark out your analysis during the trade, the emotions that you, or not necessarily the emotions you were feeling, that's more psychology related, but anything that was happening during the trade that was impacting your analysis. So if there was new PD arrays that were being broken during the trade, your thoughts behind that. If there were new conditions that were being created during the trade, your thoughts behind that, etc. Then the exit, right? So explaining the reason as to why you scaled at certain liquidity targets, the amount you scaled, you know, why you moved your stop to break even at a certain spot, etc. And then psychology, right? So track these 5 things, okay, and collect data on each of them. And from that data, look for patterns in your trading that are maybe weaknesses, right? And once you identify those patterns, those weaknesses, build systems in your trading to either improve or circumvent them, okay, those weaknesses. So that's how you journal, right? And there's lots of platforms that like can aid you in your data collection of these 5 things. What I've used in the past is simply just a Excel spreadsheet. Some people use pen and paper. Some people use TradeZella and whatever. I think it's all fine. Right. So that's about it. Would I close a trade if the leg that the iFVG is on created relative equal highs / lows? No. So if we have relative equal highs or lows above, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. They're not as strong as equal highs or lows. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Relative equal highs aren't as important to me. Like if we got your scenario before, like a 10 a.m. reversal, and we created relative equal highs there, I wouldn't care about them. Yeah, perfect for sure. Now, if we were to have other conflicting draws that align with those relative equal highs or lows, maybe we would have a conversation about that, right? Like, I probably wouldn't want to fade the conflicting draw there. Uh, no, it's equally important to order flow, but it's the most important thing to consider when entering a trade, Callie. Like, for creating bias, like where you think price will go, you have to consider what PD arrays in the market are being respected and disrespected, because the only way to know that a draw is being hit is if you determine order flow first. But when trying to identify reversals or trying to identify where price is going, liquidity is always going to be most important. So like liquidity is gets the ball rolling, right? It's like the first step to everything. And then order flow comes immediately after that. I simply determine order flow, which my definition of it is very different. It's much more simplistic than the typical definition, which is, you know, heat map, book map, whatever else, you know, basically tracking orders in that way. All I focus on is what PD arrays are being respected and disrespected, right? And I look at this on both the higher time frame and the lower time frame to then determine, like, okay, if we inverse this gap, right? This is my condition. I'll believe then that we'll go to this draw on liquidity, right? So it's like I use PD arrays that should be respected if we're to remain bullish as my condition to then switch to order flow. Okay? Or vice versa. So that's like I could show an example, but I mean it's not that difficult if you guys want to look at more. I think I've talked about this before in the past. So there's a lot of content out there on it. I'll just actually real quick. This is like the simplest explanation for it I can do. So I'll just give you guys this, so at least you have something. But this is basically the gist, right? So that screenshot I sent is the gist of what I'm talking about. And then bias is simply pairing order flow with a draw on liquidity. Okay. So on that note, guys, I think it's going to be it for me. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. You got something out of this session. I'll make sure to get this uploaded for you guys to review later. And yeah, spend some time with family. You know, enjoy the weekend. Do something to recharge so you can come back Monday. Even better than you were last week. All right. Have a good one, guys.